Welcome to Downtown Sports. My name is Downtown Stephen Brown, and in today's video, guys, to kick off free agency, the Toronto Maple Leafs have signed goaltender Ilya Samsonov to a one-year, $1.8 million deal. Samsonov is 25 years old and a former first-round pick and top goalie prospect at that. He posted a .913 save percentage in his rookie season with the Capitals in 26 games, but then followed that up with, a disappointing sophomore season, and then this past year was the first time in his career that the Capitals trusted him to take on a heavier workload, and he posted an .896 save percentage in 44 games for them, and then was not tendered a qualifying offer, and that's why he was a free agent in the first place. If we're comparing Jack Campbell, Matt Murray, and Ilya Samsonov's numbers at 5-on-5 from this past season, he struggled to stop those high-danger shots, and I mean, those are always going to be the most difficult ones, the shots that come from directly in front of the net. But no matter what sample of goaltenders you want to look at, he was near the bottom of the league in that stat category. But when it comes to the medium danger shots, so shots from the high slot or the face-off circle, he was very effective. At 5-on-5, Samsonov may have had a lower save percentage than what Campbell did, but in terms of the goals that they both allowed relative to the quantity and quality of scoring opportunities that they faced, both goalies had similar seasons last year. If we're looking at the advanced numbers for Samsonov at 5-on-5 through the first 3 years of his career, this past season was very similar to his sophomore year, where he struggled to stop those high-danger shots, those shots coming from basically point-blank right in front of the net, but again, he proved effective at stopping those shots from the higher slot area. Samsonov's rookie year really was impressive all across the board. And with him being just 25 years old, a former first-round pick, and a top goalie prospect at that, there is potential there. And with the Maple Leafs having signed a new goalie coach in Curtis Sanford, who came over from the Vancouver Canucks, where he helped develop Thatcher Demko and Spencer Martin, maybe he could do the same with Samsonov. If we're looking at how last season split up for Samsonov, in his first 18 games before the new year, he had a .909 save percentage and a 13-2-2 record. But in the 26 games that he played after the new year, he had an .887 save percentage. And the one thing that I will say about the NHL in last year's regular season, in and around the new year, especially moving into February, March, and April, it was anything but ordinary, and the 2021 season being the same. You know, everything affects everyone a bit differently, and maybe a little more normalcy will help him return to the form that we saw in his rookie year. When we talked about Samsonov in yesterday's video, we used Alexander Georgiev as a comparison, because Georgiev is 25, Samsonov is 26. They've both played about 3 seasons in the NHL, but Georgiev was traded from the Rangers to the Avalanche for a couple of draft picks, and then re-signed for 3 years and $3.4 million per. And if you're looking at the career numbers for Alexander Georgiev, they start out really good, and then they kind of trend down to the point where he played 33 games and had an .898 save percentage this past year. So if I had to pick which bet to make, I would rather bet on Samsonov with a 1-year, $1.8 million deal, because if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. With the Avalanche, they gave up draft picks. It's a 3-year deal for $3.4 million. They're similar goalies, similar age, and similar numbers over the last couple of seasons. I think the Leafs got the better bet. Samsonov also posted a .912 save percentage in 5 playoff games against the Florida Panthers, so, I mean, this past season really wasn't all bad for him. Between Matt Murray, Ilya Samsonov, Joseph Woll, and Eric Källgren, those are 4 guys who could give you NHL starts, and if Matt Murray is healthy, which the Maple Leafs did look into his medical records, and I guess they were pleased with what they saw, I think that he's a really good candidate to have a bounce-back season. I just, like I said in the video from yesterday, I would have really have liked if they could have gotten more than a 3rd and a 7th to take him on, or more salary retention. I don't really think that there's much of a difference in ability between Peter Mrazek and Jack Campbell last year and what they have right now in Matt Murray and Ilya Samsonov. And when you factor in that both Mrazek and Campbell have injury concerns attached to them, you know, Murray has injury concerns as well, you can understand why they went with a guy like Samsonov, who started 44 games this past year, opposed to another guy that we've been considering in Eric Comrie, whose career high in games in the NHL is only 19. Like I said, I don't think that they're any worse off than what they were last year in net, And by trading for Matt Murray, who has 2 years left on his deal, and by signing Samsonov to a 1-year contract, the Maple Leafs have maintained some financial flexibility for the years that they're going to need to re-sign Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner and William Nylander. It's a constant balancing act between focusing on the now and trying not to shoot yourself in the foot down the line. And a $5 million 5-year deal for Jack Campbell, I don't know. You got to weigh the pros and the cons. And if you determine that there's not too much of a difference in the quality of goaltender, then I would rather go with the shorter term option. I'm not someone who wants Kyle Dubas fired, but for the people who do, there's a lot of money coming off the books in the next 2 or 3 years to the point where the Maple Leaf salary cap situation basically resets itself. It could have been really easy for Kyle Dubas to just come into this offseason and thrown a big bag of money at Jack Campbell and said, problem solved. Or thrown a big bag of money at Darcy Kemper and said, problem solved. And in 2 or 3 years from now, if he's not here, those deals would still be on the books. Campbell signed a 5-year, $5 million deal, and the one that Kemper signs is going to be more expensive than that. I think that the fan base needs to understand that while he didn't upgrade the goaltending, I think he did a decent job at maintaining it while finding shorter-term options that leave things open down the line. The Colorado Avalanche just won the Stanley Cup, with Darcy Kemper having posted a .902 save percentage in these past playoffs. It is not impossible to win without a dominant number 1 goalie. It makes it a lot easier, obviously, but it's not impossible. Now, the Toronto Maple Leafs are not the Colorado Avalanche, but a .902 save percentage is not very good. Can they bridge that gap if they were able to get maybe a .910, a .915 save percentage from their goalie? Maybe a little bit better than that. Those aren't necessarily Conn Smythe winning numbers, but it's better than .902. For now, the Maple Leafs have about $6 million to work with to re-sign Rasmus Sandin and Pierre Engvall and fill out the rest of their roster. But there was rumors going around. Frank Cervalli on the radio said yesterday that they are actively shopping Justin Hall, and they're more so waiting out the market on Alex Kerfoot to see who misses in free agency, and then maybe they'll pay more for Kerfoot afterwards. But there were a lot of teams interested, according to Cervalli. So if they do end up moving on from these two players, they could have as much as $11.5 million to play with. So we'll see what more moves they do. I don't know if that made sense or not, but my voice is starting to go again, and I know I'm going to have to make more videos in the day. So make sure to like the video if you did like it, and subscribe for more, because more is always on the way. And guys, I'll see you in the next one. Before I get out of here, I did see while I was recording and editing this video that the Maple Leafs also signed Nicolas Aube-Kubel on a 1-year, $1 million deal, and they also signed Adam Gaudette as well, probably for similar or less money. Now, those two guys aren't necessarily big enough names to do their own videos on, but I'm going to wait a couple of hours, and if there isn't any other news, then I'll do a video talking about those two guys together. If there is more news, I'll tack those two guys onto the end of the next video that I post here today. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure to get subscribed, because there's going to be a lot coming in the next couple of days. So I'm going to get out of here for real this time. I'll see you guys in the next one.